Hi, welcome back to my little kitchen in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. Today we're going to talk about an all too common problem this time of year. It's August 5th, squirrels and their ability to decimate our gardens. Something that has become very near and dear to my heart recently due to the fact that I have dealt with this for the past 3 years. This is my third year for a garden, and I have looked at so many different videos online trying to figure out a different way, a natural way to inhibit squirrels from actually taking over my garden and just destroying the fruit. Now, I live in the city, so if you live in the country, shooting the squirrels, seems like a great idea. Yeah, you know what? As soon as you shoot one squirrel, another squirrel is going to come in. The mothball approach, putting mothballs, using a stick inside a cup, putting mothballs in with some red pepper. Bad idea, guys. Bad idea. Okay? First off, when it rains, the chemicals in those mothballs are put into the ground and they're going to go right into your plants. Okay? Try to stay away from the chemicals. We want produce that is going to be, natural. Okay, I certainly don't use any chemicals whatsoever on my produce. I mean, you do what you want to do, but to me that just seems like, you're defeating the purpose. So, I've seen YouTube videos with some guys doing some serious electric fences, and you know what? Kudos to them. I'm, hoping it works out for them, but I'm pretty sure they can't even get into their own gardens because these electric fences are so elaborate and not very cost effective, I can tell you that. When you start to pump in, a couple $100 and do an electric fence, that's good for you, man. Good for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to take an approach that is definitely different than anybody I've ever seen. And I feel that this is not only the most humane approach, and when I say humane, again, if you can shoot the squirrels, obviously, if that's your thing, whatever, but it doesn't matter because as soon as it's like a drug dealer, okay? As soon as you get rid of one drug dealer, another drug dealer is going to take its place. It's the same thing with a squirrel. I've got tons of squirrels. They're all over the place. They're fighting to get into my garden. You know what I mean? So that is not a solution. So the solution that I came up with is actually not protecting the garden, okay, but rather protecting the tomato. And you can see on my left, okay, your right, okay, what I have hanging here are my tomatoes that are ripening. So what I do, let's take a quick step back. So as soon as that tomato starts to ripen on the vine, literally as soon as you start to see a little bit of red, you need to cut it off. So this is actually way past, because this has been sitting here. I've been waiting to do this video. This has probably been sitting here for like 4 days. You can see the green on here that's still waiting to ripen, but you can see how it is starting to ripen on the bottom here. So when this was literally the color of this right here, see how full green this is? This one, okay, was just starting to turn, and I pulled it off of the vine, because what you don't want to do is allow those squirrels to take a bite of that and get a taste. It's like a bear, okay, getting the taste for blood. Once it gets that taste of blood in its mouth, it's over. It's over. They're just gonna thrash your garden. So you really want to, and they're gonna chomp on a couple of them. Don't get me wrong. You're not going to be able to save all of them. Okay, they've already taken out probably like 3 of my tomatoes. Okay, but they're super green, so they drop them, and it puts this taste in their mouth like, wow, these are really not that good. So they may come back and try it a little bit later, but if they get another tomato, it's going to be that green tomato, and it's going to leave that bad taste in their mouth, and it's going to be a little while again before they taste it. So you have to get these off of the vine before they ripen. So right as soon as you see them starting to turn red, you'll cut that one off. You want to leave them on the vine as long as humanly possible, but as soon as you see them turn red, you've got to cut them. Now the objective is you want to cut it with a little bit of a stem. Okay, let me get really close. This is a pretty good example right here. You can see the stem because you're going to tie a string to this to hang it. Okay, we have two different types of material here. We have rope. Now this rope is actually, I don't even know, you can get it at Home Depot for, who knows, I don't even know, it's maybe like $5. And this is, I don't know how many feet, it's, you know, obviously a lot. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a length of rope. Now you're going to need somewhere to hang it as well. If you don't want to drill into the wall like I did, I put an eye bolt up here so that I can hang them, okay? You can get one of those hangers that goes over top of the door, and it's got like the little hooky thing on it. You can hang it from that. I would try to avoid doors though, because if you're opening and closing, the riper the fruit is, the more likely it would be to get bruised. So, you know, there's on this one that I have hanging right here, there's an enormous amount of weight. I mean, this thing probably weighs like 30 pounds. Okay, maybe not 30 pounds, but it's pretty heavy. It's definitely, you know, 20 pounds. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to take, you know, a length of rope. You can basically figure out how long you want. I'm just going to base it on what I already have existing. So I'm going a little longer because we're going to tie some knots in there, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So the first thing I want to do, and you should normally do this outside, is you want to cauterize the ends, because if you don't, then what's going to happen is this is going to continue to fray and it's going to be a problem. Do it outside, not like I'm doing today. I'm just doing it because I don't want to bring the camera outside. Just don't breathe in the air. I'm going to like try and make this as like easy as possible. So basically, once you start to melt it a little bit, you don't want to like create a lot of fumes, but you just want to kind of pack it up there so that it stops the fraying from happening. I can actually bring this up so you can see this like really close. You can see how bad that is. Let's just do this real quick. All you're doing, again, you're not like hitting one place too long, and just bring it up, okay, and then just like hit it again. Okay, we're just getting it hot so that, you know, you can kind of pull it up. That's perfect right there. Okay, that's perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create points, okay, on the rope every so often. Now the top part, okay, is going to require a knot, okay, that you're going to tie for the place, the hanger, okay? So you need to leave a little bit of an area up top there. So we're just putting a little knot like this, and basically what that's going to do is that's going to create a section where we're going to take smaller string and hang to each tomato from, okay? And I typically, you know, want to do probably, I don't know, like 6 inches, right? So, I mean, you can do however many you want. Again, it's the rope doesn't have to be this long. It can be as long as you want it. And then we're just going to try to be consistent on, you know, how far we're doing these knots. And you can always change it up. It's not a huge deal. So, again, we're just trying to be consistent. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing is ever perfect, especially in my house. My house is evidently not perfect. So, again, we're just gonna, you know, try and, you know, do this, get as close as possible, whatever. Okay, so now this one is the bottom one, obviously. And you can see, okay, so they're maybe a little bit longer than 6 inches. It's probably like 8 inches, whatever. And then you have no knot all the way to the top, because what we're going to do is we're going to create a knot later to tie this, okay? So now what we want to do is we want to start out with our strings. Now there's a couple of different ways you can do this. I'm actually going to show you how I have been doing this. And I just get some of this little string right here. I use this for cooking a lot. I use it for tying my plants up. I use it for, you know, a whole bunch of different things. I mean, probably the vast majority of what I use it for is cooking when I'm doing stuffed chicken. So I'm going to show you one. So this we probably have, what, like 8 inches or so. And you can make it, you want to make it short enough that it's not going to create, I don't know, a long hanging area. But it's got to be, you want it fairly short, but you want it long enough that it's going to be workable. Okay, this is my point. So we're going to start at the top on this one. Okay, so this is our top knot. So all we're going to do is we're literally just going to like put this like this. Okay, so you got the knot portion right here. But you see that little knot portion? You want to keep that on the big part of the rope. Okay, because that'll, and you're just running it through like that. So let me kind of re-show you this. So you're just literally bringing it in to loop it through, okay? And then we're going to do the same, and the reason you want the knot on this side is because it's a lot easier to work with this. So watch this. You're just creating a loop right here, and that loop, okay, is a slip knot. That's going to grab a hold of the section, okay, that we cut off, okay? So it's just like that. So there you go. There's your first one. Okay, so let's do another one. And you can obviously hang this up so that you can, you know, work with it a little bit easier. I just want to do it right here, and then we'll actually do one while we have it hung up, because I would rather have it hanging when I'm doing this. But again, just to illustrate this, so all we're doing is we're taking this string, okay, we're taking the two ends, okay, and we're just literally doing a little loop right here, knot, okay, that's more than adequate for what our purposes. We don't need some, you know, crazy, you know, knot that you can find on the internet. Okay, that one's getting pretty close to as short as you want to go, okay, because it's going to be unworkable. Okay, so the idea then, again, we'll actually do this same thing. Okay, so we want the knot, oops, there you go. We want this knot section, okay, you can see that little knot right there. We want that closest, so see how that's looping over there? We want to take that loop and bring it through, okay, just bring it back around, and then pull that so that that little knot is grabbing. See how that grabs, okay? And just, you know, now you have this side like this, okay? You can see that, and then we're gonna loop it around again, okay? And we're gonna have that right there. And again, it's just a slip knot. So you can see my tomatoes, okay? And look at that beautiful color. That's not even ripe yet. These are actually heirloom Cherokee purples. These are amazing flavor. And I've already been chowing down on these things. Oh, I guess I should, I apologize. So we're taking that loop and just going over the stem. Okay, I mean, you can do it. Whoop. Okay, that kind of screwed up. So you can see how it's holding on there. Unfortunately, the stem broke off at the base. So now that we're going to have to come up with a different solution. I actually They're ripening fast enough that I haven't had to worry about that. But if I did, if they were like ultra green, I would probably just get some cheesecloth and do the same thing and run the cheesecloth in sort of like a, you know, a cradle-like situation. So here's another one. Okay, you can see there. So we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to grab this. We're going to redo this loop. Okay, so just to illustrate again, you just got it like that, and you just literally wrapping it around so that you have that loop. It's just a slip knot. You can actually, anywhere, it's going to hold anywhere. It's not going to like fall off. Okay, so now you're going to be holding these like this. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to tie these off and hang them. I'm actually going to take a step back. I'm going to do that later, and I'm going to show you what we currently have. So I'm going to walk my camera in here, and you can see those hanging on the wall. All right, so this is what I currently have right now. I'm hoping the light isn't too much, so maybe I can bring the camera this way, and that'll give us a little bit better like look for our purposes. I apologize for the way this is working, but you can see how this is actually working. Okay, so it's exactly what I said. We're hanging, okay, from my eye bolt up here. We just did another slip knot, and then each little knot that we did, probably on here, like roughly about 6 inches each one, we're hanging. I had, you know, at least 3 tomatoes. Okay, again, I am like grabbing these right as soon as they start to turn red. I mean, even just a little bit of red. And we're actually, I'll take this outside and I'll show you exactly what I mean. I don't actually know if I have any that are turning red right now, but we'll walk out there and take a look because I need to check that out anyway. So you can see some that, so this one doesn't have any red at all, so it must have been in a situation where it needed to come off for some reason or another, so I just grabbed it. I have a couple of them like that. It seems that, you know, they're really green. Maybe, you know, whatever happened, but you can see how these are continuing to ripen in a vine-like environment. The point is, okay, so the point is really what's going on here is that this eliminates the problem of the squirrels, because now the squirrels, again, I've had them eat a couple of tomatoes, and I have a lot of tomatoes out there, but they've only eaten a couple because they taste those green ones and they're like, oh, these are horrible. We're not gonna, we're just not gonna continue eating these things. And you're never gonna stop the squirrels. You're just not gonna do it. I don't care what you try. I don't care what you do. There is no getting rid of the squirrels. So what you have to do is you have to take the tomatoes out of the equation. Just bring them inside and hang them, and that is gonna take care of your problem 100%. There's no chemicals. There's no shooting. There's no, violence and bloodshed with electric fences, whatever. There's minimal cost buying the string and the rope for this. I mean, under 10 bucks. Okay, under 10 bucks. That's it. Let's take a quick peek at some of the tomatoes that we have outside, and we'll go from there. Okay. Okay, so we're out in my garden right now, and I'm going to help you identify any tomatoes that are starting to get ripe. So you can see this one is just starting to turn red. Okay, that one is definitely one that I'm going to cut off, and I'm going to do it after the camera is put down. So let's identify a couple more real quick. There's another one right there. Okay, you can see how there's just a slight red hue on this one right here. This is one that I'm definitely going to cut off, and I'll probably leave this one on and just pull that one off. Again, here's another one. It's literally just starting, okay, to get a slight reddish hue. I want to pull that. Let's go over here. I saw a couple over here. There were a couple actually pretty good ones over here that I missed. Where did they go? Oh yeah, look at that one. You can see how red that one is. That's actually, I should have pulled that a while ago, because see, if a squirrel got up here, it would just, not only would they destroy this, but just climbing up, they would destroy this whole stalk, and I don't want that to happen. You can actually see over here that even though it's red now, that one tomato right down there, that was one of the first ones they pulled off, and I let it sit there so that they would get a bad taste in their mouth, and finally it's starting to rot. So I'm gonna, it's turning red too, so I'm gonna pull that away. That way they don't get a taste for that anymore, but they have pulled a couple. Like I said, there's no avoiding that. And I have another one over here. Look at that. Okay, you can see that one's just slightly starting to turn red. I'm going to pull that one. Yeah, there's a couple in here. Okay, there are a couple in here, and so that's kind of the idea. That's what you want to look for. So go ahead and take care of that, and you won't have any problems with squirrels taking your tomatoes.